Hello, everybody. This is the picture that I'm going to do. This is the Kelpies, and we're working on the skies we did the other day. Now, this one has got a beautiful run back here, which I was wondering if I could actually incorporate in the picture. So that's why I chose to use this particular one. It might all fall disastrously wrong, but we will see. Now, again, the colors I used were Prussian blue and orange, transparent orange, which just, well, you know, I've fallen in love with them. This week, Lord knows what will happen next week. Okay, so I need to make a mixture of the orange. I don't want it too thick. And clean the brush, dry it off, and add a bit of, there we are. So I want it fairly browny, and I want it fairly thin, but not so thin that it runs away. I think that will probably do. Okay. Right, so this is freehand, so all bets are off. I'm going to start. Well, we've got the back here, haven't we? So if we start at the horse that's at the front, they have got names actually. Duke and Baron, is it? Yeah. So they. I'm taking that down there, and I want that edge to be soft. So I've taken off the moisture from the brush and just wet that a little bit so that I retain that flash of white there. Pick up some more paint. Where am I? Horse. And that comes down quite like that. That one shoots off quite high up actually. It's more like that, and it goes nearly as high. And there's and it comes in. And this jaw comes around here. And it comes down and up. And it comes down here. So we've got all this. Got to keep this edge wet. Otherwise I'm going to get a... Right, and this comes down here, and then there's the bulb of the cheek. And then we have this one coming down here. Looks a bit like a dog at the moment. Howling at the moon. This one comes down, and then you see I'm just doing the silhouette of the horses. I'm not attempting to put any figuration in of the shading or anything like that. I'm just trying to get the outline of the two horses in the best as I can. Right, okay. Right, I think that's more or less done it. So I'll need to make some more paint, of course. Nice like that, isn't it? Right, and then we have the distant hills, which come round about here. And again, we can just bring the, well, there's a bush there, isn't there? So I can put the bush in. And again, just bring the paint down from the edge. Need to look at the bottom line here where the where we meet the lake or the river, the canal actually, which is about there. So if I come down to there, that's going to work. I need to come across here because this is fairly straight here. And again, pay attention to the bottom of the where the reeds meet the lake. It doesn't matter if it's a bit wonky because it would be. You know, they are organic after all.
Yeah, love.
And then we join on here, putting in again the background. And this part comes all the way down here and down here. That's quite nice over the dark there because that's where the reeds are. So that's going to be useful. So all this I'm covering with this slightly browny orange. And that's the silhouette. Anything else I want to paint, I don't. All I want to paint is on that surface that I've just covered now. With a bit of luck, that will be dry. Splendid. Right. So now I want to go in with something a little bit darker. Brushing them. I'm trying to keep it brown because of the sky. Yeah, that will do. Nice. Now this is a little bit darker. There are areas which are fairly strongly edged, so a dry surface is a good one. For instance, the horse's mouth there, it's got quite a firm edge on it. And this here, and that little bit of the mane. This is fairly strong, but it fades. So I'll deal with that in a minute. I'll just get this strong edge in here while I've got paint on my brush, and it comes about here. I think I'm going to use a brush. And up here, just here, are the nostrils too. So, right now then, there's a slight. I'll leave that till it's. No, I won't. Here, we've got an area of shadow which is rounded. So I'm wetting it, just that area there, just the little bit that sticks out there. And then I'm going to pick up some of the paint and put it where the paint, putting it where the color is strongest, which is right at the edge here. So there's this. As you can see, it's moving already. It's climbing up there. I could do with it being a little bit stronger, so taking some of the wash out. This is a little bit stronger here. I can always go back and do that afterwards, so we'll leave that. Now there is also up here a very slight shadow there between the nostrils and the mouth. So if I wet just that area, this is clean water, trying to get it's like painting blind, trying to get the shape that I want. And then just put in a little paint there, just to suggest the curve of the mouth. Haven't got it quite right. This comes down a bit more here. And that goes off up there somewhere. It's very, very faint. Right, now then, we've got to separate these two horses, one from the other, which is fun. Right. If I take this line here, there's one ear of the horse in front and this long nose down here. So if I put that paint in and see what happens, basically. So we've got an ear, there's the head, comes down round about here. Right, now that is actually too strong, but never mind. And then it sweeps down here. I'll use the bigger brush for this, because you want to use the side of the brush to sweep it down here. And I don't want that sharp edge, so I'm going to take the colour and the water off the brush and just soften this edge. So that it doesn't make too precise an edge. We want a fairly precise edge there. More work to do here, but we need that edge to know where to work to. I can pull that back here also. And it goes into a dark bit there. But this is also slightly wetted. Just softens the edge a little bit. Right? I think that's just a little bit too long. Never mind, eh? You learn, don't you, by making mistakes, they always tell you. Right, now then, there's a knob here of quite dark shadow, and it's just above where that horse comes to meet this horse. So it's just above there. So it's about, wait a minute, it's just above there. So it is about here. And that is quite a area of dark. This side has quite a sharp edge where you've got the cheek of the horse. And then it comes down. Oh, we'll see. Like that. Right, now, I don't want that edge there to be hard. So I'm putting water for it to bleed into. And I'm putting water around here because I want it to bleed into that. And around here, but not where the cheek is. If I take some, make the paint a little bit stronger. More paint, less water makes it stronger. Ah, come on, you. Behave. So I lost track of where I was with that. And then it comes down. And disappears down here, so we'll just take it off with a dry brush as it disappears there. And then there is also here and again we want that to be a bit softer, so we take a dry brush to the edge. How are we doing? Oh. I haven't got this right here. That's far too steep. That's got to come out. But fortunately, the mane is there, so I can rescue it, which would be helpful, I think. Right, now how are we doing? This has gone a bit berserk here, but I will be working on top of that, so I'm less worried about that than I might be. I think I'm just going to see if I can get this angle right. It's much more like that, isn't it? Right. Okay. Right. This horse over here is darker than the one at the front, so I can, now that this edge is dry, take this and darken it, at least at the top there. Comes down to a lighter bit, and then we've got the grass across the bottom there. Right. Right. Now then. Right, the bit where the eye is dry, I think. Right. It's just above that. It's about there. And just take the water off, soften the edge a bit. And here. And that ear is also quite strong, this ear here. That one is quiet, this one is strong, and that bit is strong. And then this ear comes up here.
Rachel, the picture's frozen. I noticed that. Yeah. I was perplexed because I didn't say that the fabrics are gone.
How are we doing? All right.
It's come back a bit.
Right. Okay. And that edge there isn't quite so strong. So again, just fade it down into the surrounding horse, so to speak. Right. There is a thin skin of dark there. Oh dear me. Right. Right. Okay. Now I think I can go in a bit darker here. As it comes down here, because that edge actually defines the front edge of this horse. And if I again soften this edge with a dry brush, more or less, it's more or less dry. There we are. I'm not putting the people in. You've had it. Now, how am I doing? The mouth here, again, need the paint a bit thicker. The mouth here is darker. What I'm aiming at is the form. If I can get the form right, I can adjust other things, you know. Right, now then, I'm going to turn it upside down because that's wet. This here is dark, very dark. So we can put it in very dark because it helps to define one horse from the other. And the dark edge comes up this side of the horse to here. Here we are, and it comes up quite a lot there. And again, dry off the brush and just pull the edge so it's a bit softer. That edge can move up here. Oh, not bad. I've done worse. Right. Now we need some really dark paint. Really, really thick paint. I don't mean dark, I mean thick. And even though it's thick, I've got to work it on the palette. The horse's mouth is I think I've got to put a bit more blue in that to get it really dark.
10 minutes.
And this down here is also very dark. That's creeping nicely. This isn't creeping here because that was dry. Yeah, not bad. Not so bad. Then we need to put the eye of this one in on top of those shadows we created. This is still wet, so I shouldn't be doing this. The shoe carrying on. Right. Okay. Now we can put in the main, but just to give you the rest of the picture, really. We need to bring in the forest here. It doesn't matter what shape it is, really. I lost track of where I was there. But it'll change in 100 years. These are quite dark down here. There is another bush to go in there, even darker. And these are also over here. So you're defining this edge of the second horse. Right. And then I'm going to go in with really dark paint right at the front. For the grasses at the front here, which will help to... no, I'm hurrying. Slow down, Steve. Probably get on better with this at that end. This is sort of scribble bit to create the reeds. And of course, at the bottom, the reeds would be darker anyway. I don't want to hurry it because I might, spoil it if I... And that continues across as you go. So you get the feeling of the reeds coming across here. 4 minutes, right, okay. And the leads come down here. So right there, it's quite a dark corner there. I can pick up a bit of blue and really darken that corner there. As they're nearer, there'll be a little bit more detail. So, yeah, if that goes all the way along, it'll look quite good. And there's this other bush here. I don't think I wanted that done. There's a bush here that comes over the main, comes over the trees too. That's got to be darker. It comes down to the shore. The reeds fall down to it like that. So these reeds are here. Now I am hurrying.
2 minutes and a half.
No, I'm not going to go down. Right. Okay. So I just need to make some indication of the main. And I think what I would do there, I'm turning it sideways because it's wet. And also it's easier. But there is a part of the main that comes down here, which at the back end comes into the light a bit here. And then there's a sort of zigzag line from there that comes down. Where are we? There. That one, and that's a short one. And there's this long one down here. And a shorter one, and a little tickle there. And some of these sweep up to give you some idea of what the shape is meant to represent. That would need more work, but it does give you an indication of the main of the horse.
Okay.
Right?
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Mm. I need to put more dark in there to help define the jaw. And again, I don't want it hard, so I've got to pull it down. And nostrils is the other thing, isn't it? Yeah. And there are, I don't know if that's wet or not. That's wet, so I can't do it. But I've got to mark the nostril.